Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to your final match of the evening. It's going to be Virtus Pro versus RoX.KiS. Best of three that has gone the distance. We are now in game 3. It's time for the teams to get a bit more serious. It's the Corsair Summer 2013 $10,000 tournament taking place over the next 4 to 5 weeks. Should be an absolute doozy of a game. The draft looks way different from what we've been seeing in games 1 and 2. And a lot of these bans might explain the reason why. Of course, I should introduce myself. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit. Thank you all for being part of the broadcast today. Great to have so many of you tuned. It will be an interesting game for sure. Loser of this match, if you are not familiar with the tournament format, is going to go home. This is your loser bracket finals for Group A. We use GSL format for the groups, which is basically double elimination. And do or die, backs against the wall. VP say it's time to go full Phantom Lancer. They will deny it to RoX.KiS. They'll get their late game secured for themselves. And I'm sure RoX.KiS are just sitting here scratching their heads saying, we thought we were going to have that hero. They were wrong. They were very, very wrong. And now the draft continues. RoX.KiS going to go for an Alchemist here. Well, trying to win a farm war versus Phantom Lancer is often a dicey proposition, but they do have to keep the light on their side. They've got a great lineup to clear stacks early. The thing is, though, it's not just a PL in isolation. It's a Phantom Lancer and a Nature's Prophet. That is one of the strongest 1-2 punches in a late game scenario.
Radiant team back. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Was just double checking to make sure everything's okay on the stream, but it seems like it's fine. I am producing for myself, and our setup is not really designed for it, so things are not going to be quite as smooth, but don't worry. When Kawa is awake, they will be smooth as silk, as butter, whatever you want to call it. And we'll now have our last few picks coming out for VP. It's looking... Wow, they'll go for a Disruptor here. This is... Well, this is a very greedy lineup, because as far as their supports go, Disruptor really needs level 6. So too does the Nyx Assassin. They have Phantom Lancer as a hard carry, a Weaver who is an offlaner that just wants to farm and does damage. They have a Prophet, a split pushing utility hero that needs to farm, doesn't offer you any team fight initiation whatsoever. VP have gone for one of the greediest drafts you will ever see out of a team. Can they make it work? That's going to be the big question. Perhaps. RoX.KiS, as far as their offensive potential goes, in the laning stage it's not great. Rubik, Alchemist, Keeper Light is a decent tri-lane. There's some good burst damage there, but it's not that amazing, to be honest, as a tri-lane. And if they go aggressive with the Alch and they lose the laning stage, the game's over for them, because he is the only hero on their team that scales incredibly well into the late game. So we'll see what they go for, but VP, incredibly greedy draft. Cannot stress enough just how greedy they have been with this last pick. But Obviously, Disruptor, a great hero to deal with Batrider. They now have Nyx, who can walk into the Firefly, use the Carapace. That'll disrupt Batrider's initiation. They also have Disruptor to glimpse him back. So it makes sense in that sense. And RoX.KiS will now look for their final pick of the draft. Batrider, Rubik, Cupid Light, Alchemist. It looks like they need another solo. Alchemist in the Western scene almost always run as a carrier. We don't really see him solo mid like we do in Asia.
5 seconds remaining.
Queen
of Pain the choice, and I kind of like this choice because I feel like RoX.KiS do have to be very aggressive in the early to mid game. If they don't win this laning stage, they let VP get to the mid game, their ability to split push to find pickoffs is absurd, and obviously their late game is going to be incredible. I'm curious to see how VP will lane. I imagine an off-lane Weaver, a defensive tri-lane Phantom Lancer. Actually, maybe it's a solo mid-Weaver this game. And then an off-lane Prophet. That could be the case, in fact. Weaver will do reasonably well against a Batrider 1v1. That's ideally the matchup you want. This is a weird draft for them. They don't really have a clear solo mid. Nyx can go mid, but I don't think we're going to see that because it is being played by Arsart, and he's normally your support player for this squad. So with that being said, we'll have a quick pause. We can introduce our teams. Virtus Pro on the Dire side. Arsart going to be handling the Nyx Assassin. Illidan Stormrage on the Phantom Lancer. Tame My Wild or Crazy, as he's also known, handling the Weaver. NS will be playing your Disruptor. And KSI on the Nature's Prophet. On the Radiant side, you've got RoX.KiS. They have made a roster change. They have, of course, been using a stand-in here today. It's not their full 5-man roster. Dread on vacation as well. A gaming vacation at that. But it'll be Nexus standing in, playing the Alchemist. Vankskor going to be handling the Rubik, the new replacement for solo. Tron on the Batrider. Yol playing the Cupid Light. And BZZ is perfect, handling the Queen of Pain. I actually think VP is in pretty good shape. I mean, even though their draft is insanely greedy, the one lane I'm really concerned about is the mid lane. I don't know if they plan to put... I guess it's got to be Crazy. Yeah, he's rushing a bottle, so it'll be a Weaver mid. But Weaver mid against a hero like Queen of Pain is actually pretty tough because your range is crap, and Queen of Pain, and you normally, in a side lane, it's okay because you can just chase with Sakuchi, drop the swarm, and then run after her and do a lot of damage. But in the mid lane, often you have to fight uphill. Having low range really hurts you there. And on top of that, you cannot chase because the towers are so close together. So in that matchup, Tame My Wild is going to have to play a little bit more defensively. He most likely will lose the CS battle. Queen of Pain starting with a Null Talisman is going to be starting with 64 damage and the better range compared to a Weaver who's only sitting at 58. So Tame My Wild will struggle a bit, but his job isn't necessarily to crush the lane. It's just not to feed. And he probably won't die there. And then you look at what else RoX.KiS are going to have to try and kill. Well, Weaver mid is hard to gank, especially for their lineup. They don't have much chain stun, so they won't be able to gank him really unless they get a double damage rune on the Queen of Pain or some crazy, unless they gank with this Alk. But Nexus, early Quelling Blade, he'll be going for farm, so he won't be joining the fights early. Oh, I just realized I haven't changed the overlay yet. Fortunately, the game was paused. Sorry about that, guys. It really has been a very long day. There we go. Now we have the score updated. Well, a fortunate pause, I must say. I should probably let you guys know in the chat. I'm not losing my mind. I was just fiddling around with like 20 things at once. But I think everything's resolved. Looks like we should be good to go. Oh, we're missing our overlay, aren't we? Where's my in-game overlay? Boom. All right. Now we're good to go. Virtus Pro on the Dire side. Defensive tri-lane will be the choice for them. RoX.KiS running the Batrider. Off the bat looks to be a jungle bat. He is going to have a tough time laning against VP. Nyx Assassin, Disruptor, as well as a Phantom Lancer is a good line, just kind of sieging tri-lane. They can just slowly spam him down with lances, with Impale, even with the Thunderstrike, which recently got buffed. It now has 4 strikes at level 1. Actually makes a big difference as a support. It's a lot of extra damage, and it also makes it harder to actually get a salva off for the Batrider. So more damage instances, Great harassment for him. And Tipo, he'll start in this off lane, but I feel he won't get a whole lot accomplished.
The battle
VP,
begins.
well, they'll be waiting at the top rune for the time being. And Yol, he'll find an invis rune bottom. He's going to pick it up, I imagine, and they'll have a free farm alchemist. A lot of trees being cleared out by Nexus. They can stack these camps very effectively. Keeper of the Light can stack multiple camps early with a well-timed illuminate. You can actually you can either just pull 2 camps if you clear the trees, which he has, or you can even illuminate through, hit 2 camps, and then cause both of the camps to aggro onto you. But for the time being, RoX.KiS, well, Queen of Pain mid versus a Weaver. I mentioned the Queen of Pain should have a bit of an edge here, but it shouldn't be a too dominant of a one. Tamoild should be okay. And then your off lane, it's going to be KSI on the Prophet, doing everything he can to slow down that Alchemist. Treants are coming in off the bat. Not going to be super greedy and go into the jungle. Somewhat like how we see Ohio play the Prophet. He'll just try and slow down this jungle. And he actually runs into Yol, and he'll back off. Probably didn't mean to be here. He should be okay in the end. Retreating out of the lane. Just double checking to make sure everything was fixed on the stream. And it looks like we're good to go. So overlay's fixed. Glad to see that I can get something right. If you guys saw this setup, you would understand why I forgot in this case. It's pretty awkward, to say the least. Dive from mid lane. Tamoild going ham on BZZ. He'll blink away. He barely lives. He salves up immediately. And Tamoild doing a lot of work. And in comes Mr. Arsart. An early Impale here could spell his doom. He's been a real thorn on the side of BZZ. He'll mana burn him now. And that suddenly makes this matchup very hard for the Queen of Pain. If left in a 1v1, I think BZZ would definitely have the edge here, but especially with the Sentry Ward he's got, you can make sure you Shadow Strike the Weaver. You can't dodge it with Sakuchi. Really increases your harassment power. But now that he's been mana burned repeatedly, Arsart has effectively won the mid lane for the Weaver. Already 9-5 to the 3-1 of BZZ. Not even having a bottle up yet. The pulled Sentry's doing nothing since he can't leave the tower. And Phantom Lancer is uncontested top. Illidan Stormrage is free farming. Prophet slowing down the jungle as much as possible. Yol is still level 1. They can't seem to get too many camps going. We're already 2 minutes in. Now a regen room for BZZ. Oh no, Tamoild could be in a lick of trouble. He could Sakuchi here. He'll do it at the last possible second. There's no mana for a blink by BZZ. Just auto-attacking Arsart. Or sorry, he had mana, but there was no cooldown for it, I mean to say. And he'll back off. He'll head towards the middle lane. And Nexus just continuing to farm. Safe lane Alk up against a Phantom Lancer, Prophet, and a Weaver. You either have to go super aggressive ganker build and rush a Saddle Blade, or just the hardest possible carry build, stack a crap load of camps, and just go for ultra late game. And by ultra late game, it should be like the 30-minute mark, because that's when Alk should be 6 slotted if you go that route. For the time being, there's a lot of pressure actually on BZZ. And Tamoild might dive this. He doesn't have a point in the swarm yet. Unfortunately, unable to find the kill. BZZ blinks away at about 20 HP. Had Tamoild had an extra point in the swarm, I think that would have been our first blood, but opts to skip it early on. VP in danger of being eliminated from this tournament very quickly. It seemed all but a foregone conclusion that they would move on from Group A as your one-position team. After all, this team is going to the International 2013. RoX.KiS not even able to qualify. It seemed like a foregone conclusion, but it's not. They are in jeopardy. They've got to find a way to win this game. They're not out of it yet. In fact, I'd say the start for them is good, and the gold graph agrees. A 300 gold lead, a 1,500 experience lead. KSI is really making things happen. You can see the Treants here constantly blocking camps, one at the Magic Bush, another one scurrying, could have been blocking here. So not perfect micro, but good enough to slow down the stacks, good enough to slow down the Alk as much as possible. Nexus, I should say, is probably going to rush for Perseverance. I think you got to go Battle Fury here, but he's debating what to do. Double damage rune up for Vank score, he'll rotate back, and all the while, Illidan does free farm on that Phantom Lancer. Tron's TP'd in top, only level 2, and he's got to be careful not to get too aggressive. Even CS so far, 29 CS on Illidan. Hasn't bothered to deny because there hasn't been a hero in the lane, so you can pretty much ignore the Alks denies, since the Prophet isn't going to be accomplishing anything bottom anyway, except just putting pressure on the jungle, which he has done successfully. Ultimately for VP, their main goals are to get level 6 quickly on the Nyx, to slow down the Alks farm, which they're doing with the Treants, and then to farm their PL. And I would say they're accomplishing all of these, because Arsart's already level 3. 5 minutes in, considering how much pressure he put on mid, that's a pretty good start for him. BZZ is perfect. He's behind mid. Still no points in the swarm by Taemawat. I really would like to see at least one. I just feel this spell is too good at level 1 to ignore. It gets a lot better, but just going for the maximum auto-attack oriented build. NS rotates in, glimpses back the Queen of Pain. BZZ still has a blink, but the chase is on. There's going to be one extra Thunderstrike. First blood for VP. A nice rotation from NS to set up that kill. Just waddled into the mid lane. And although the Radiant do have a ward here, it doesn't see everything. Didn't see the rotation down this hill. And in the end, he pays. And giving up a first blood for this RoX.KiS lineup is a big problem. Meanwhile, Tron jungling, and it's been pretty efficient so far. Didn't actually get to see all the camps that he stacked, but he is level 5 at 6 minutes, which means he's probably doing it more or less correctly. Isn't missing too many stacks. He'll have a fairly fast lasso, and that's or blink dagger, I should say, and that's going to be important for him because if he doesn't find a lot of kills early, BZZ will struggle to find them after this slow start. And if neither of those heroes are making big plays, you're just trading Alk's farm for that of a Weaver and a Phantom Lancer, and generally that's a low percentage play. Nexus already picked up the Claymore, picked up the Broadsword, going for a Battle Fury, and rushing it as quickly as possible. No boots. This is going to be one of the fastest Battle Furies possible. His farm is pretty fantastic, sitting at 7 CS a minute, nearly perfect farm. Has not cleared any of the stacks yet. Double stack here, and this camp being farmed by the Keeper of the Light. So I still think VP is in good shape, because Arsart's level 4, the Disruptor already level 4 as well. If they get level 6 on these supports early, they can really prey on the Keeper of the Light and the Rubik, who are only 2. These supports for VP are just really, or for RoX.KiS, are just really far behind, and it goes back to the Prophet play. Great, obnoxious play by KSI, blocking pull camps, denying the pull, slowing down the jungle game. Sure, these supports can catch up if they just leech experience off of Nexus, but that's not really ideal. Meanwhile, it looks like I did miss a solo kill mid. BZZ picks off the Weaver. He doesn't even need to use his ult to do it. Didn't have a sentry either. Well, must have just been somewhat greedy play by the Weaver. Actually died to Shadow Strike on the way out. Looks like he was trying to bottle Crow. Didn't have the bottle back and did a mass disconnect, but that was all just streamers, not actually any players. So it seems everything's in working condition, and VP, they'll continue to farm. Illidan, what has he gone for? Is the courier bringing anything his way? It'll be an early Blade of Alacrity. He's getting close to that Diffusal Blade. In they go. They're going to dive Vank score. One more auto attack should bring him down. The Impale's going to connect. And now Illidan, he wants to go for 2 here. Yol on the run. Illidan giving chase. In comes Batrider. Has, of course, the lasso. Drops it now with the Firefly. BZZ rotates in. The Carapace is there. But it looks like BZZ is going to find a kill. 1 for 1. And they'll back off. But getting a kill on the PL and then just trading one of your supports away is good. Holy mother effing crap. That's an 8-minute Battle Fury. That is insanely fast. I don't have a stat span this game, but I bet it's one of the fastest on record, if not the fastest, because he's gone for a naked. But Tame My Wild says, you have a Battle Fury, but you have no boots. And I'm going to punish that. I'm going to dive you with the Swarm and look to kill you. One more auto attack will bring him down. And that is the one downside to going for a naked Battle Fury. You're kind of counting on your opponents to just let you get away with it. And he won't in the end. KSI farming the jungle. Arsart, they're also going to steal the stacks. This is big time if they can bring them down. And they're going to Fang Vank score. Virtus Pro starting to find a lot of kills, a lot of momentum here. KSI is going to teleport in. The Vendetta Strike will spell his doom. Down he goes. And Tame My Wild's not done. He's going to dive Yol. Yol's got to TP out immediately, and it might be close anyway. Sakuchi cooling down. He is able to escape. Mr. Arsart on the move. Man, I love that name. It just sounds so badass for some reason. Mostly because I just imagine Arsart saying, that's Mr. Arsart to you. RoX.KiS, that's Mr. Arsart to you. I don't know. I have a cool image in my head. I'm not sure if you guys are feeling it. We'll find out in 2 minutes. But for the meantime, NS takes the mid lane farm, who gets close to level 6. Illidan pressures the top tower, and with a good start, and with that Batrider Blink Dagger not yet online, there's just nobody to stop VP from this powerful initiation. They already have basically a Diffusal Blade. It's going to be around a 10.5 minute 11-minute Diffusal Blade for your Phantom Lance. When you couple that with a Weaver who's done a lot of early work, the Tier 1 falling top, the fact that these supports are still abysmally poor. Level 3 on both, starved for experience, punished by the Nature's Prophet, and this game actually looks almost impossible for RoX.KiS to take unless VP decide to 5-man into a big Alk stun, into Firefly, and just feed away kills. As long as they just stick to split pushing, finding pickoffs, these supports, it's literally an economic problem. They can't even buy wards, and Yol will walk right into Arsart. Nexus is waiting. Still no boots for him. They're coming on the courier, and he'll have his boots at long last. But this is where, if you had just gotten the boots and maybe the treads even first and then gone Battle Fury, he probably lives through that gank and then gets more farm in the end. Impale catches too, because he's not spending any time dead, I mean. Yol on the run. One more Sakuchi brings him down. Nexus channeling the stun. If he stuns himself, he could be in trouble. He's got to back off now. He keeps on going in. He stuns himself in the tree line. And our double damage Weaver, Tame My Wild, untamed thus far. He'll head back to mid. No, he did spot this Queen of Pain rotation. Could maybe even look to go here. Hunting the stacks. Won't find any now. The backstab comes, but Arsart gets off the Carapace at the right moment. Does prevent Nexius from getting off his full combo. Now an Impale on 2. In comes your backstab from Tame My Wild. Remember, he's got the Swarm. He might not even need it. One last auto attack, and the Swarm tick damage, I think, is going to bring him down. BZZ frantically trying to kill off that bug. Nexus as well. And by the way, did I mention they have a free farm PL? Because they have a free farm PL. You guys are 2 minutes ago when he had an 8-minute Battle Fury. Oh my god, how quickly that changed. NS, well, there's your glimpse back. And Nexius, locked in position, brought down in a hurry. Too squishy. They don't have lane wards for him either. They're really doing this all wrong. If you want to do this, you need lane wards. You have to get the support some levels so that they can actually deal with these tower dives. And you just can't get picked off. But VP are playing fantastically. The early pressure from Arsart mid gives their Weaver a powerful start, slows down the Queen of Pain, who was pulled sentries and otherwise probably would have had a great start. And now Arsart is going to hunt the Bat Rider, who's so close to his blink. Arsart is doing it. That's Mr. Arsart to you, he says. He's going to kill off the Bat. Blink Dagger deferred. And RoX.KiS are on the ropes. 12.5 minutes in. This PL is at that point. Diffusal online. 1,000 gold in the bank. More importantly, it's not a one-man army. He's got a lot of backup. They have a 6k experience lead. I honestly just can't see how VP actually lose this game. And I don't often say that as a caster. Usually there's some way, but it would basically have to be a throw for them to fall in this. They'll dive the bottom lane. They go into Vang score. He gets glimpsed back in. Just when you think you get out, they pull me back in. I can't get the quote quite right, but I made a good effort. Give me some credit. Give me some props. They'll push this tower bottom. Tame My Wild chipping away. With max Geminate attack, he actually brings the tower down very quickly. Ultimate orb up. VP are cruising, and it seems like they may have dodged a bullet here in Group A. Top lane comes Illidan. He's got the Purge, and Nexus, no chance to farm. So much dares to sniff a creep wave and pays. And I got to check Arsart's kill score, because I think he's been involved in every kill. Not quite. 5-2-2. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it feels like it. It really feels like he's been involved in every kill. And now mid lane, they do find something. BZZ is perfect, jumps in, kills off KSI, retreats back out. He'll find the 14-minute room potentially. He hides in the jungle, and now Blink's top. We'll go in Illidan here. That Blink Dagger is up, and Illidan does have demonic, or rather, he does have his Diffusal Blade, but he doesn't have any access to Doppelwalk. Already cast it, and no mana either. He should be falling, so we'll take a look at mid lane. There's no way Illidan gets out of that. Vang score, caught, backstab by the Weaver. He'll go down. Illidan on the run. One more auto attack will bring him down. Hey, we caught both kills. That's pretty cool. Virtus Pro, they'll continue to pressure mid. They do lose their PL, but they're okay with that. They still have a lot of other high impact, high value heroes at this stage of the game. Yol on the run. He'll head towards his own neutrals, gets glimpsed back. Caught in the Thunderdome. The Thunderdome is that place you go to die. And who will die there? Now KSI has pulled a bit of an... well, what is he? Trying to snipe a courier, I guess. No? I guess... I imagine he was either trying to snipe a hero or a courier, but Bat Rider was very, very healthy. In the end, just TP's out. He will be able to get away. Goes right back to jungling. And meanwhile, bottom lane, we'll have a double teleport. Nexus has shown his pretty little head again. Treads up, on the run. Tough game for him. I just can't believe VP have executed this greedy of a lineup so well. It doesn't even feel that greedy the way they were playing, mostly because of Arsart. The pressure on mid, and then also KSI. With the Treant micro, putting Treants at the Magic Bush, blocking this camp occasionally, just disrupting the pulls over here, messing up the creep aggro. He kept a Keeper of the Light and a Rubik who normally could just clear stacks with ease between Fade Bolt and Illuminate. At level 2, around the 5-minute mark, and also shut down the mid lane, Arsart did, with the Mana Burn spam on Queen of Pain. And they've just been rolling since then. Batrider in the jungle, his Blink Dagger was delayed. All the little things going right. VP, it almost feels like a perfect game. Now NS is finding solo kills. He will bring down the Keeper of the Light all by his lonesome. Didn't even need the Nyx Assassin support. Simultaneously, Illidan has gone in top, picked off the Rubik. VP, 16-5, now lead by 10k gold, 12k experience. And it's only getting worse for RoX.KiS from here. Some of you guys are being rather vile in the chat. I don't approve of this flame. I may or may not be at my best right now. Blink Dagger up on Arsart. That is a very fast Blink Dagger. Even for a solo mid-Nyx, this is a pretty impressive blink timing, because this hero isn't a great farmer by any means. But he's managed to farm it as a support, along with Arcanes and his Magic Wand. He'll rotate towards mid. He could even... Well, I don't know if he can pick off this Alchemist. Already 1200 HP with the Power Treads, but Vangscore not going to be so lucky. Arsart, it is daytime. He was spotted. He'll back up, but he's got Vendetta. He's got level 2 Vendetta. Level 2 Vendetta is a pretty big deal. Level 3 is the one where it's amazing, because then you can spend... Basically, it's actually literally your entire life in Viz, if you'd like. Top lane, they've gone in again. Illidan might go down. He does have a Diffusal Blade in just a second, but Dusted Up will be picked off. Now we keep an eye on Arsart. Popped his Vendetta and did kill off the Rubik while that was happening. And he's able to feast on that Rubik. Rubik, Keeper of the Light, if you fall behind like this, you are just food the entire game. 17-6, 23 kills, 17.5 minutes in. There are quite a few deaths piling up on the Phantom Lancer, but remember, there is still a Weaver in this game. He's got a Lincoln Sphere, which means he's virtually immortal to quite a few of these heroes. Queen of Pain, even if she gets the Scythe can't, or an Orchid, can't deal with them 1v1. Same too, if the Batrider or the Rubik initiates, it's all single target initiation, and that's problematic. NS, gem up on him. He's baiting on this bottom lane, hiding behind the trees. They might look for a glimpse. They won't commit. Yeah, I mentioned Rubik and Keeper Light were having a hard time. I didn't realize just how hard. They are collectively 0-10. If this was a pub game, I'd probably be reporting them right now, even though it's not really their fault. Keeper of the Light's been caught. Easy kills for Arsart. He is such a beast this game. 8, 2, and 4. It's not just his kill score, though. It's the way he set up the mid lane for success. But they'll jump in mid. They can't even find him there. Quick reactions. He'll blink away. Keeps himself going.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Illidan, Yasha up. I think he had it earlier before he died. He'll now... I might go for a Vitality boost. I feel he really needs the extra HP. He will, however, find Tron here, and he's terrified. He'll run away. Meanwhile, bottom lane, the tower's dropping low. Vangscore manages to seal the swarm. He really wants Sakuchi. That's the spell you're looking for. Even with the Stolen Swarm, it's not going to help him get away. In fact, he'll be forced to TP out. So too will Yol. And we got to keep an eye. Oh, Tame My Wild diving the base. He needs one more auto attack. Can't get it off. Time lapse already used. Now mid lane. They've jumped in. They'll lasso Arsart, and at long last they'll have their revenge. He gets off the Carapace. He still will fall. But he's a spiteful one, that Arsart. Now a glimpse for NS. A glimpse for NS. No glimpse for NS. Just out of range. And Illidan's on the hunt. Up to 1,700 gold. About the same as what he had before. Rotating away. He was really worried about getting ganked. Did end up TPing mid, and now he'll head towards the bottom lane. They'll even go into Roche here. KSI, after that, it's really identical to how Ohio's been playing the Prophet for Orange, where he sacrifices himself in the laning stage. Albeit, Ohio normally does it for 5 to 6 minutes. I think KSI only did it for like the first 3 to 4. Then you just go jungle. You get a Midas, and you play catch-up. And with the Midas, you're able to catch up. Now has a Shadow Blade. At some point, we'll probably get boots. Normally a good item. And can roll from there. Now Illidan gets an Aegis and a Vitality Booster. I'd like this item selection quite a bit from him. He really needed the extra HP. He'll get it now. I would also like to see him level Doppelwalk. At level 1, it has a really long cooldown, 30 seconds. At level 4, 15, which means even if they dust you after you've used your Diffusal Blade offensively, you can still look to go. They've caught Nexus farming at the Ancients, or rather, at the neutrals. Observer Ward on the high ground. They'll pick him off, and they're not done yet. They find Vangscore. He tries to TP out. No way, sir. Not getting onto this one. VP, slamming RoX.KiS down. They are just having an easy time of it. And it all started with some good early aggression. It's funny, too, because you look at RoX.KiS, and their lineup feels a lot more aggressive in the early to mid-game, but VP, they picked a more defensive lineup, and they made it aggressive. NS finds a kill mid. Boy, oh boy. Hard to catch all these kills, I will tell you. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of action. 28 kills, 21 minutes in. The tower's going to fall mid. They've got an Aegis. They could maybe even think about high ground, but BZZ on the hunt. Might make a go here on KSI. Shadow Blade's up, so I don't think you can find the solo kill. No dust at all. He'll be unable to find this, but waiting for a teammate to come. That teammate is Batrider, has Blink, has Dust, but if VP rotate that way, it could go poorly for him. KSI, he might not know it, but his time on this earth could be very short. In comes Batman from the tree line. He'll blink, he'll lasso, and I think this will be the death of KSI. The ult's available, they'll deploy it with no hesitation, no mercy for him. Down he goes, and what do you know? On the hunt again. He'll head towards the bottom lane. He's going to find Yol. One Vendetta Strike, one Impale, and one kill. Arsart would make a great tax collector, because this guy, he's got a job, and he just gets it done. A blink forward, he pops the Carapace, but the Rubik Lift keeps him safe for the time being. There's your kinetic field. Now a Lance comes forth. The Impale as well. They bring him down. BZZ is perfect, trying to fight this way out, but he doesn't have the ult. Another Lance on the Nexus, and now Illidan will be forced back. Still has Aegis. Still looking fairly healthy overall. 2,500 gold up for him. Tame My Wild, Mithril Hammer up. Probably going for Desolator. Desolator, a really potent choice this game. So much minus armor, and great for pushing down towers. And he's already pretty much impossible to kill, because like I mentioned, it's all single target initiation for RoX.KiS, and there's no way to remove that linkage and then instantly stun him. They don't have a 4 staff on the Batrider yet. That's the only way you can do it. In fact, that Batrider is going BKB. And RoX.KiS will just continue to defend this bottom lane. They're pretty much hemmed into their base now. And when you have an Alchemist who rush the Battle Fury, you want to be free to farm the entire map. That's how you really get ahead. You abuse the stacks, you abuse the Ancients. We saw a lot of it earlier today in the LGD China versus Arn series. If you guys, some of you who were maybe up this morning, got to watch the Dota 2 Super League. Great games, by the way. Highly recommend Game 4 in particular of that Best of 5. It's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BeyondTheSummitTV. But yeah, if you're stuck in your base as Alchemist against a Phantom Lancer, you are not farming. Grievel's Greed is all about constantly last-hitting creeps so that you get the... Every time you last hit a creep, you get a little bit extra bonus gold, and eventually you hit a cap. So if you only get a wave of creeps here or there, you're not at max cap. So you don't farm nearly as efficiently as an Alchemist could. And despite the fact that he's 152 CS, he's not even the lead farmer. And then we go. Arsart again, onto Yol, lifted up. Good reaction by Vangscore on foot, and there's a lasso as well. The kinetic field did absolutely nothing there. So too the ult. A complete waste. Arsart will fall. 2 dead. Illidan gonna fight his way out. He does have an Aegis, and in comes Tame My Wild. They want to bring down Nexius. They'll be successful. Now the Phantom Lancer cometh, and he cometh with a lance. And BZZ blinks north. He needs to run away soon. He's low. He's not dead yet. They're still giving chase. Tame My Wild on the hunt. Here's your Prophet. He's got the scent. Blinks over the tree line, over the chasm. Will be brought back to base by the Keeper of the Light. Barely escaping in the end. Nice little escape there. Still, they trail by 15,000 gold, 15,000 experience, and they have the clearly inferior late game. And Illidan is so confident with 4k gold to his name that he's solo pushing mid to the enemy base. 4 heroes alive, doesn't give 2 hoots. That's when you know you're really far ahead. It was virtually unthrowable 15 minutes ago. It's still virtually unthrowable now, but who knows, guys? Who knows? I'm knocking on wood. I'm not going to jinx them. VP, if they're going to lose, they're going to have to do it all on their own. I'm not going to do the hard work for them. Arsart, under cover of Vendetta, heading towards the top lane, has kept a nice network of wards to keep that Alchemist really hemmed in. And VP, they'll go for the gusto here. 3 heroes grouped up, thinking about an engage. Yol as well as Vangscore lurking on the high ground. Still, patiently waiting. Virtus Pro. If they want to farm for another 20 or 30 minutes, they certainly can do that. They can take the next Roche. They can get huge items up on the Phantom Lancer. They have an even better shot of winning this if this goes later, as long as they're not dying. And right now, they're not. But if they want to try and end the game now, with a heart on the PL, I think they have all the tools they need to do it. Arsart with the Blink can be your hero that breaks the base. You've got Glimpse as well. Fantastic initiation spell. If you catch out a hero, not like the Queen of Pain, because she's got a BKB, which completely counters the Static Storm, but if you catch anyone else, maybe the Bat Rider in particular, you could just win a fight off the bat. They go in top. They've caught Arsart. He's got a Blade Mail, but he can't get it off. They do blow him up. That was an absolute barrage of spells. Meanwhile, mid, Yol simply trying to defend the lane. He will almost certainly pay with his life. There's your diffusal charge onto Yol, and this could be 2 heroes dead for Illidan. Now he's going on to Vangscore. One more Lance will spell his doom. He's got the Lance. He's found the distance. He's got the range, and Vangscore, he keeps on trying to live. They need one more auto attack, a Prophet ult. Anything will do. Can't find it. Can't make it happen. Blinking north into the trees is your Bat Rider. TP's home, and meanwhile the siege commences bottom lane. KSI and Tame My Wild want to take game 3. They want to advance out of Group A. They really look sloppy in their first, basically every game up until now, but this game has been much more classic VP. They're full 5-man roster. No more stand-ins. No more messing around. It looks like they might actually be able to take the game. Lance onto Tron. The Rack's now exposed on the bottom lane, and the mid lane soon to follow. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and it's also death by bugs, because Weaver as well as Nyx, these pests have infested RoX.KiS's side of the map. Tame My Wild, waiting, well, backing off for the time being. And I guess they're going to wait for Roshan number 2 at this point, which is the safe way to go, to be honest. Illidan, he can get the Manta style perhaps before the next push, or even just work towards a butterfly. Even just a casual Talisman of Evasion will do wonders against Alchemist, with Acid Spray against a decent amount of right-click damage from Queen of Pain, now an Ultimate Orb up, around 140 per pop. It's nothing to sneeze at. They're going to find KSI. They blink, they dust, they lasso him back, and I think with a Queen of Pain ult, they'll kill him. That is some serious hate on KSI. Every time they kill him, they're blowing lasso and Queen of Pain ult to do it. And it's great to shut down the Prophet and all, but he's not the real problem. Nexius has farmed a Maelstrom, a nice item to deal with this Phantom Lancer Illusion Army. I do like the choice quite a bit, but there's a Purge, and there's another Lance. He wants to force out a BKB charge. Illidan unable to do so for the time being. RoX.KiS. They'll have trouble defending. Issue is when you channel the Illuminate, Arsart can very easily deal with that. He's got Vendetta. He's looking for an initiation. He's going to walk right into a Rubic Illusion, immediately blinks away. Could have been bad, but the Illusion Rune ended up helping him out in the end. And now, Tame My Wild, it'll be an well-executed split push if they get it right. Tame My Wild mid, the rest of the team bottom. Slowly but surely, no overcommitments here if VP want to take this game. They'll just need to be slow, steady, and safe. And RoX.KiS, even if they find one kill, they've got to kill this Weaver, and they've got to kill the Phantom Lancer, and that's just to get out of their base, let alone to start pushing out and taking towers. RoX.KiS, they only have 2 towers in this game, and that's with a very fat Alchemist, a pretty early Blink Dagger. It's going from bad to worse as Weaver chips away at the tower mid. They come in mid, he backs off, and then they go in bottom. An endless barrage of ins and outs. Fight us like men, RoX.KiS say. Fight us like men. Why would we fight you like men when we can fight you like the million rat army? That's what the Peel army is. They do lasso our start. He's caught. He's got a blade mail. He could pop it now. He goes down in a heap. But while this is happening, Tame My Wild sieging out the mid lane. He needs to be careful. He'll back off, and in goes Illidan Stormrage. Back and forth, one to the next to the next. BKB up for BZZ is perfect. He could look to make a go here, ult pulling down, however, and the Lance is going to follow him. After that blink, burns the remainder of his mana. They say, screw it, let's group up. We want to fight together. They'll take one lane of Rex, and once they take one, it gets harder and harder to see how they won't just simply take the Rex at some point this game. Time-lapse. Was that a time-lapse stolen? No, sorry, that was just Sakuchi. For some reason, it looked like the time-lapse animation. Tame My Wild on the run. He will eat a nuke to the face, but a blink away, he should be okay. Or a blink forward by BZZ and just a Sakuchi away, rather. He should be okay. No full commitment yet. RoX.KiS. It's just hard for them to actually find a proper fight. Because when they try to go in, if Batrider blinks in, he just gets glimpsed back. And he doesn't have a BKB yet, so there's no way to prevent that. Even if they catch someone, it's unlikely they'll catch the Phantom Lancer because he's sitting really far back and there's always multiple illusions. You're not sure which one it is. And it's even harder to catch the Weaver because the Weaver has a Linked Sphere. So you know which one he is, you just can't grab him. It's a rock and a hard place for RoX.KiS. They're caught between them both. Can't seem to find the way out. Roshan number 2 going to VP. And with this, I think they should be able to end the game. If they take this particular push, they take one more lane of Rex, we might see RoX.KiS tap out. And that means RoX.KiS would be eliminated from the Corsair Summer 2013. The $10,000 in prizes won't be headed their way. By the way, if you haven't already heard, Elgato is in the Dota 2 store. And if you want to start accumulating views on her, any tournament from the day she was released here on out that we broadcast, meaning one of our casters is in the game in a broadcaster slot, and that you have the ticket for, if you watch it, you get a view. And the more views you get, the more upgrades you get. Elgato will have basically similar to the Smeevils, where they have new mounts. She'll have effectively new models. It'll still be the same concept of the Elgato cat, but it's more than just particle effects. So if you enjoy the cat and you're on the fence as to whether or not it's worth the investment, it'll be multiple couriers in one in that sense. But either way, thanks for joining in. Thanks for supporting us here at Beyond the Summit, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the action so far today. We will have quite a bit of Alienware Cup action coming up, and here we go. The dive on the Nexus. I don't really think they'll commit for this. He's got a BKB. He will, but I think it's too late. He let himself get glimpsed back. That last auto attack brings him down. Tame My Wild does get lassoed, but Mr. Arsar delivers a 4-hero impale, and Carapace is in the middle of it all. That's got to be the end. VP, they will end this game with a bang. Not a whisper. Not a whisper. And they'll take game 3, and they will narrowly escape elimination and move on to the playoffs, where they'll have a fresh start in the double elimination 18 bracket for that stage. Wow. VP. I think they coasted a little too much in this group. It should not have been this close. This team is going to TI3, and it felt like it wasn't even... I honestly felt like it was just Rainers until this game. This was the first game where it actually seemed like they had any kind of coordination. I don't know if they just decided to start playing seriously, if they actually had stand-ins using those accounts, not accusing them of it. It just really didn't seem like their team, because I've watched a lot of VP and they don't normally play the way they did earlier, but hey, they're here now. They get the win when it counts. IC Cup are actually your first place team to come out of this group, though. They're the real story. Is they played incredibly well. They look like a well-oiled machine and could maybe make some waves in this next stage of the event. There's no Na'Vi, there's no Alliance in this tournament, but it paves the way for other teams to make a big impact and make a name for themselves here. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you've been here since the beginning, I have been casting since 2 a.m. I'm going to sleep for about 4 or 5 hours, get up, and cast for another 13, and then I'll have a proper night's sleep. But it's been an honor casting for you. It's been a privilege. It's going to be a quick outro. Thanks all for tuning in. I'm LD Beyond the Summit. If you enjoy my casting, twitter.com/LDDota. You can follow me. You'll get updates on all the latest Corsair Summer 2013 action there. If you want to support the Corsair tournament, be sure to check out gosugamers.net. They've got a coverage portal. They'll have links to the Corsair website. That pretty much wraps it up. Thank you all for joining us. Congratulations to VP today, as well as IC Cup. Those are your 2 teams advancing out of Group A. RoX.KiS and XKZ fall short. They don't have enough gas left in the tank in the end. They will not be advancing. I'm LD of Beyond the Summit, and for now, I'm signing off. We'll see you guys soon for the Alienware Cup. It kicks off in about 6 hours, just a little bit less. We'll see you then.